Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to our HubSpot Reporting live short demo. My name is Cynthia, and today I'll be walking you through how to set up some very simple but useful HubSpot reports and how to pull it all into a stunning dynamic dashboard. So our agenda for this demo, first you'll learn a little bit more about me and my team here at Nomad Marketing. And then we'll get you started with setting up your own HubSpot report, creating a dashboard, and then a quick wrap up at the end. So as I mentioned, my name is Cynthia. I'm a senior marketing ops associate here at Nomad. I've been with the Nomad marketing team for several years, working across various different platforms, one of those being HubSpot. And a little bit more about Nomad. We are based in New York City, and we're a group of marketing operations professionals who focus primarily on implementing, administering, and providing strategic advice on various different marketing automation tools, CRM tools, and all of the tools that integrate within those. So, with that background, I think we're ready to dive right in. So you'll want to navigate over to your reports by hovering over this icon, selecting Reports, and then to create a brand new report, you'll click this orange button in the top right to create report. This will take you to a page where you'll see a couple of things. So one of the great things about HubSpot is that there is a pretty robust selection of built-in templates that you can use for your reports, and you can search through the template library pretty easily here. So for example, if you were looking to pull a simple report on email metrics, you could just type email, and then HubSpot will generate templates for you that you can pull from. And as you can see, it'll just set up some basic email metrics. You have different visualizations to choose from, so that's super cool. But what I like to do primarily is use the custom report builder tool. This tool allows you to create one of the reports that is really my go-to for any marketing and sales team if you want to get a good understanding of how contacts are entering your database, what sort of assets they're interacting with, and your conversion metrics. It's great to use a custom report builder. You can pull in your custom fields, you can pull in objects that are different, like companies, deals, and contacts, etc. So you can go ahead and click into that, and I'll show you some more about that. We're going to select choose my own data sources. And as I was mentioning on the other page, you can click and pull in multiple different data sources. So it defaults to pulling in contacts because you'll want to look at your contact data, but if you wanted to look at how different companies are performing or different deals, you can select that. And you have actually a number of different data sources to choose from. So for the sake of this report, I'll just keep it at contacts. Hit next. Then you're taken to this page. You'll see on the left-hand side the various fields that you can choose from to pull into your report. Had I chosen another data source, you would see that in the drop-down here. So you'd be able to toggle through to select different fields that exist on different objects. Here in the configure section, that's where you will see the different visualizations that you can choose from. This will be a little bit more relevant once we actually start building. And then you can select where you want your fields to live by dragging and dropping them to the x-axis, y-axis, etc. If you go into the filter tab, that's where you'll be able to add certain fields you want to filter by. So if you know you want to exclude certain groups, or if you know that you want to narrow down certain dates, you'd be able to pull that in here. And I'll show you what that looks like a little bit later. On the right here, that is where your report will actually be generated. So once we start building, HubSpot will automatically refresh to show you kind of what your report's looking like. So let's get started. For this report, I want to be able to see what is driving contacts to enter my database, what channels, what assets, things like that. So I want to understand the count of contacts. So I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop that to the y-axis. And then I want to separate this out by month. I want to see trends month over month. So I'm going to drag in create date to the x-axis. I believe this will default to showing you monthly create date. You can change this if you wanted to show like daily create date or weekly or whatever makes most sense for your business use case. So I'm going to do monthly. And let's say I just want to see contacts created in the last year. I can hover over to the filters, click into contact create date, and then I'll just narrow it so that I'm only seeing contacts that were created in 2024. So between January 1st and December, whoops, gotta go back a year, December 31st, and then hit apply. And as I mentioned, you'll see that refresh in real time. So this is the contacts created month over month. We're just using sample data here, so your numbers will likely look very different. But now we want to break this up according to the original source of the contact. This is going to let us know where these contacts came in, how they came into our database, and give us really important insights for what we may want to focus on going into this year. So let's look at original traffic source or original source. So let's look at original source, and you'll drag that into the breakdown by section. And once this loads, you'll see how that changes things here. So now, rather than just seeing solid bars, we have it broken up according to what that original source is. So in this key at the top of the chart, you'll see different colors represents the different sources. So in January 2024, we had leads coming in from paid search sources. And then in February, it was a little different. We had direct traffic, offline sources. This can be things like list imports, etc. And so this just allows you to see what the trends are month over month, which is definitely very useful when trying to figure out how to drive more context to your database. So let's go ahead and name this. And once that loads, we'll be able to click Save Report, and then a few more options will come in for how you can save this and display this. Great, now that everything's saved, we're going to save this report. And then HubSpot gives you the option to add it to a dashboard. So we're going to click Add to New Dashboard, and then make this viewable by everyone, and we'll call this Marketing Sales Dashboard. And that will save it to your dashboard. We're not going to go to the dashboard yet because I want to create one more really quick report, and then we will take a look at our dashboard. Another report I rely on a lot is just a simple lifecycle report. So I've already pulled in a filter so that we're narrowing it down and only seeing contacts where lifecycle stage is known. And we're going to narrow it down so that we're only seeing contacts created in 2023 or 2024. So let's pull in create date into our filter. and apply. And that will narrow things pretty nicely for us here. Now we are seeing contacts created month over month for the past 2 years. And for this, I want to see what life cycle stage these leads are kind of getting stuck in. If I want to understand how people are progressing through the funnel, which stage they may be getting caught in, that can really help guide marketing efforts. So let's break this down by life cycle stage. Perfect. So now we can see that it looks like the majority of the contacts in our database are in the lead stage. And then we have a decent amount going over to opportunity and customer. So now let's name this. Now we can save this report. And then this time we will add it to the existing dashboard since we created the new one with the other report. And then select it and save and add. Now this time we are going to go to our dashboard, so you can follow the link in the message above. And you've just created your first HubSpot dashboard. So this is very simple. You can drag and drop to move these reports. You can expand them, format it however you like, and you can add in new reports directly from your dashboard as well. Everyone can add their own filters to the dashboards, which is also really cool. So if there is certain data that is more relevant for you, for example, if you want to narrow it down by contact owner and only see the contacts owned by you, that's something you can put into the filters here. And you can just see the global view that everyone on your team sees as well. So I hope that was helpful. Let us know if you have any questions. If you'd like, you can reach out to sales@Nomad Marketing. That's sales@nomadmktg.com. And we'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.